Hi, welcome to episode 3 of Half Price Tuesdays. It is Monday, the 27th. It's about 9:30 Eastern Standard Time over here, uh, in my end of the world.
9:30?
And we also do 9:30, I think, yeah. Oh, 10 o'clock now. Okay,
Okay.
pardon me.
Is it like the time zone's changed on me or something? But, this is
Not,
Dorsey. It's about 6 o'clock Alaska time. And I'm happy to be here after some technical difficulties.
yeah, but we're good. So, we do have a lot to talk about today. I didn't think we would. Figured it would be talking about what we saw over the weekend, and then quick thing on the Oscars. But
But
then in
how
the
about
last
those
five,
Oscars? That was a lot.
uh-huh, that was. I do want to get into that, but I have a feeling that's going to take up so much that what I'd rather do is, I'm assuming you also saw Get Out like I did over
hmm
the weekend. So, what did you think about it? Complete spoilers, understanding the spoilers will be mentioned.
I liked it a lot. I think that if Jordan Peele wants to keep going in the horror direction, like, he will be more than able to. All the best horror movies, especially recently, have dealt with social issues, but none of them have really been much more than specifically white focused. So it was a viewpoint you usually don't see in these kind of movies. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I really did too. It's the second month in a row that we've had a pretty damn good horror movie, especially in these months where usually they don't put anything good in theaters at all, and you're kind of just sitting there. I mean, yeah, we had the Bye Bye Man last month, but that movie had its
Eesh.
own special brand of just bad, but it was kind of in a fun way. I mean, I had a good theater experience with that, but honestly, with Get Out, it's one of the better theater experiences I've had in a long time. Like, there was a lot of clapping at the right moments. There was and this was like a Sunday afternoon. This wasn't like opening night or anything or like a midnight. This was just a regular like 2 in the afternoon on a Sunday showing, and it was full, and it felt great. And this is a movie that I remember when I first saw the trailer, I was like laughing at it, but not in a bad way. But I was really like just excited. Like that looks really amazing. Um,
Like, how did this get made for wide
and
release kind of laughter?
right. It's like it's been one of those years because this is like we were getting that trailer right before Split came out. So I'm like, is this one of those years where just they're actually letting good horror movies out all year? It's not just we'll get one in May and then something random in September and then October maybe something. Which I think this October we're actually getting another Friday the 13th reboot, if I
Uh,
read that right, which
uh,
just
I
found that
didn't like
out
the
like
original Friday the 13th, but I feel like, I don't know, like they're
okay.
either going to start going downhill really fast or we're going to have to give something else. Like, in exchange for all these great horror movies, we get a crappy award season or another year of totally awful blockbusters, you know?
I don't know. I mean, you know what? It's the end of February. We're 2 months into the into 2017,
Oh, God.
and I've already seen 10 movies from this year, and I liked 5 and I didn't like 5. So it's been for this early in the year. That's a pretty good balance. Like I wasn't expecting that to go that well this early in the year.
I think I've only
So
seen
I don't,
3, not counting like the late 2016 like expansions, but
right. Oh yeah. I'm talking not anything like not like the Oscar movies or anything. Um but anyway, Get Out itself works as a film where it's obvious that there's enough there about different social classes and racial issues coming together, but it doesn't distract you from the fact that there's a lot of actual thrilling stuff that happens in the movie. There's a lot of good, authentic moments, and it's funny, but it's not like, winking at the camera or being anything that's too meta, I guess. It's definitely its
right.
own brand of humor,
Yeah,
especially
it's
the
not
climax.
like didactic. Like all the best satire has other elements happening for it. It's not just 100% lampooning of racial politics in America. There's like a good horror movie also happening, at the same time.
Right. No, it's the climax of the movie. And like I said, I think we should just go full on spoilers, because if most people have already seen it that we're going to, this thing still has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's Monday. Like, it's gonna be like one of the best reviewed movies of the year. It's kind of crazy. I love that the climax of this movie, like one of the big reveals, is a really subtle racist joke. And it's kind of amazing, and I'm pretty sure a few other people in the audience stood up. I didn't, because it was those reclining automatic seats and I wasn't moving, but the people not in those seats, I'm pretty sure they got up and clapped. I was trying to figure out...
So what are you referring to? Are you referring to the cop car at the end?
No, earlier. He's strapped down in that chair.
Right.
And it doesn't show anything that indicate that he got out and he's faking that he's strapped down. Because it makes a point to show that when the brother comes in and undoes his straps, because he thinks he's still hypnotized, then the guy walks over and beats him with a bocce ball, which was hilarious on its own.
And he's got the stuffing from the chair in his ears.
No, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying.
The stuffing, I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, were his hands really strapped down, and he actually somehow got down and put the cotton in his ear? I don't know how that happened. And then as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait a minute, what saved him from these white people trying to kill him? He literally was saved by picking cotton. And it's on purpose, because it's Jordan Peele. And when I realized that's why everyone else was clapping, and I was really, I was just happy with, I was like, if that's what I mean by it had its own humor. Like, if this was a skit on the show, someone would have said it. But
right.
No one in the movie actually says what he did. But that's literally how he saved himself. So the humor in it is really subtle. And other times it's pretty blatant, with, like, the one guy going, "Yes, black is in again, yes."
Yes.
And
they could have...
It's supposed to be... They were like, "I've met Tiger Woods."
Yeah, they could have made the same movie as, like, a cringe comedy along the roads of The Office, almost. Just taken the same screenplay and done something different with it. I mean, it obviously is great as a horror movie, but there's enough humor and social satire in there. Mm-hmm. Some of it really overt and some of it really subtle. Like, you could blink and miss, like, the cotton in the ear section, and then there's like enough Obama name drops that it just gets so silly. It
does. The thing is, the wrong director. Like, if this had been the guy who did that Meet the Blacks movie from last year,
jeez,
you could have shot this like that, and it would have been just the worst movie. It would have been,
for sure.
This movie could have been that way, because the story itself about when you find out what it's really about, what this family, what all these people are doing, I was really trying to think if I'd seen anything else similar to that, but I honestly couldn't. I honestly could not come up with... The only similarity was actually one my friend noticed when we walked out of the movie, and he's like, he was thinking of "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" Because it's another movie where that guy is blind, and he thinks that he can't tell if someone's white or black, and he doesn't care because they're talented. I'm like, damn it, why didn't I think that first? Like, he could be the same character. He kind of even has a bit of an accent to him. And it was... What it comes down to is that there's a lot of good reasons why this movie is getting as much praise as it is. The only real issue I had was the friend who is hilarious. He's the funniest character in the movie, and he isn't overused, and he's not trying too hard, except that part with the detectives, where all he really has to do is show them the picture and go, "Hey, where's the missing persons case on this guy?" "Oh yeah, I found him. Here's a picture of him my friend just sent me. He's at this house, let's go." end of movie, but you can't do that because the movie would be over before it gets really crazy. So I get that, but I'm like, that was like my one issue with it, where it's like, you're not acting human right now, and that's bothering me. But that was it. That was like my one problem.
Yeah.
And
I thought that
honestly,
scene was kind of weak.
Yeah.
But the character in general, I mean, it's a nice play on the old trope of, like, the comic relief black friend that doesn't really do anything.
Right.
Which,
or
he
if
is
he does show
still
up,
basically that,
killed.
but the context is different because of, you know, the people who are making the movie and what the movie's about.
Yeah. I mean, he's a kind of character that in most other movies he would have shown up and gotten shot, or shown up and taken an axe to the face, or something. He'd have gotten killed, like, immediately. He's that character, you know. So it doesn't do a lot of jumps, which was nice.
There's a couple but nothing here like too stupid.
Yeah, it definitely lets you stay interested by just what's going on, and it gets creepy. It actually gets interesting without it being too jumpy, and I love that. And, you know, I was about to say something like The Witch, because that came out around February, and that didn't rely on stuff like that, but obviously it's not as good as that, but it's...
Right.
This is a film that's definitely getting... I'm seeing praise from more average moviegoers for this movie than that. And it's the same idea of, it's a horror film where the film doesn't tell you when to be scared every 2 seconds. Like, the music does have its cues on certain things, but it's not overdone. The music is pretty good in it.
I mean, it's more of a crowd pleaser than The Witch. I know that a lot of people that watched it didn't care for it because it was a little slow getting there. I think there's a couple scenes that could have been cut from Get Out, but, like, in general, like, it keeps a good pace throughout.
It's the kind of movie that it doesn't wear out its welcome.
So I feel that with Get Out, I gave it a solid 4 out of 5. I don't think this is going to wind up on like a best of the year list for me. I know it'll definitely be an honorable mention. This and Split feel like 2 movies that I really liked, that I know I'd probably bring them up at the end of the year, but if they make my top 10, I'll still feel that 2017 is kind of a low year. And I think Split did a bit more for me personally, but Get Out I could admire as well, as just, for a first-time director, this is great, and he's only going to get better. So, I don't know if you did your write-up yet, if you put up your thing yet for it.
Not yet.
So you don't have a rating yet for Get Out?
I'll have to think about it a little more.
Okay.
But probably in that range. Like, definitely not lower than that.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to give too much away. My advice to people would be, don't even watch the trailer if you've managed to avoid it so far. Just go see it.
Oh yeah, definitely go see it. I honestly, the part that I gave away doesn't say everything, because that's in the trailer.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, it's a blink and you miss it kind of part. It's not like a major plot point, but
the trailer kind of shows. Yeah. So yeah, definitely recommend that. Real quick, I did see Collide. It's kind of pointless. It's a 2.5 out of 5. Real quick, the movie was called Autobahn in Europe, and they brought it to America and called it Collide. And the best parts in the movie are them racing on the Autobahn. And the action scenes for this aren't bad. Like, a couple of the fight scenes are pointless. Like, there's actually a thing where this guy has his arm around Nicholas Holt's neck. You watch him reach off camera, grab a thing, and then raise his arm with the object in his hand still out of the shot. And then it hits the guy in the head out of shot. And then the guy's like, ow! And then Nicholas Holt runs away. And I'm like, you actually framed that to where I couldn't see what he hit him with. And you said, that's a good take, let's use it.
It's bad, basically.
It's okay. It's dumb. It's really dumb. And it's not worth watching. So if anyone was curious, it's not. Maybe have it on Netflix when you're doing anything else and it's in the background. So, that's Collide.
Good for
2.5 out of 5.
When I'm painting my nails and I'm just looking for background noise.
Yeah,
okay.
That's fine. you might be okay with that. Better than some other choice, because this thing's gonna be on Netflix by September. Like Imperial Dreams, which they only advertised because that movie came out in 2014. That was a Sundance 2014 film
that never got a distributor.
No, they just sat on it.
They figure people will watch it now because John Boyega got famous.
Yeah, well, not just John Boyega, but you could fool people into thinking it's Moonlight.
Maybe.
Honestly, it's like the same. Well, no, I can't remember I don't think they ever specifically said what city Moonlight's in. It's just a city.
I thought it was Miami.
Is it Miami?
Miami?
Okay, I know I loved the hell out of that movie, but I honestly didn't remember. Imperial Dreams is L.A., but even the cover they have for it, he's sitting there all blue, like it's the Moonlight poster. So that's pretty much what they did. And that movie was just okay. I could see why no one bought it and put it in theaters. But that movie just came and went. I got trailers for that on Facebook.
They think they can make a buck off Moonlight without having Moonlight. Go ahead, I guess.
Which they need to, because everyone needs to see that movie, and dang it.
It's an A24 movie, and they have an exclusive streaming deal with Amazon Prime, so...
Okay. That's why, Moonlight was also produced by Amazon, I thought.
That was Manchester.
Was that Manchester?
That was Manchester.
So that's not gonna be on Netflix either. I don't keep track with all that too much, but I guess I gotta keep track of all that so I know what movies I'm not gonna see on Netflix.
Maybe they'll get La La Land.
Okay, that's fine.
Maybe.
That movie, it's worth it. Well, speaking of those three movies,
La La Land and Moonlight, how about them Oscars?
And the Oscars were honestly pretty uneventful for 99.9% of the time.
I think I was 15 for 19 on this list of predictions that I wrote up, so I did.
Did you keep track of mine too?
I did not keep track officially of yours. I think I remember.
That's fine, because
you should remember if you're the one who had to go back through that audio again.
Yeah, I definitely did not write it down. I usually don't, because a lot of the tech categories, I don't sit there and painstakingly go. That's why I like Jungle Book. I didn't realize that was such a front runner. I actually did not realize that until you said it. Then I looked into it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess nothing else is it.
Right?
I did, and it looks beautiful, but I really was thinking they would that's when they would hand Arrival something. But Arrival walked away with nothing. With
one. It got one.
No, with one.
It got sound mixing.
Oh, okay, yeah, it did. Yeah, La La Land lost both of the sound awards.
I think La La Land came away with exactly what it should have, so I'm glad it didn't sweep. But Jungle Book, I don't know that anybody before that has animated like a human person interacting with not real animals in a way that looked like real life. Like,
to that extreme,
Like, he sat on the bear, he pet the wolves, you can see his hands weaving through the fur, it was basically real life. Jungle Book definitely deserved it.
I don't disagree. It was more of me thinking, okay, what always deserves it doesn't always mean it's going to win.
Of course.
So it's why I was like, maybe this is where they hand this off to Arrival. Or maybe they can hand it to Kubo, but no, because Kubo wasn't made by Disney, so it can't win anything. And Disney's going to buy Leica, and then they can win Oscars, and then I'm going to cry. That's where I thought the night was going. I'm like, there's going to be no surprises. Okay, La La Land's not going to sweep, that's fine.
But,
acting awards win.
That was enough of a surprise for me, honestly, that La La Land didn't sweep, because a lot of people were expecting it to pick up, 10.
It's still going to go down as one of the few films with 14 nominations.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen, so...
I was wrong on editing. I was sure it was going to be Arrival.
I was wrong on editing, too. That was crazy. Editing is...
It was the one I would not have even thought to put in there, because they should have cut the entire first half of the movie out. But...
Hacksaw winning editing was surprising, but it seems like the last few years... there was a time for a while where editing was kind of getting used as like a mini precursor to what could win Best Picture.
Like a consolation prize for those who don't, or just like, oh, Best Picture has to win editing too. I mean, the last couple of years it's been different, but like historically, usually the Best Director also wins Best Picture. But the last few years, they've been splitting it.
They have. I think 2012 it didn't. 2013 was, oh gosh. Oh yeah, that was a split. 2014 was
2013
straight
was a
up.
split. 14
was Inarritu.
Oh yeah.
Winning everything, and that year was stupid because directing should have gone Richard Linklater because Jesus Christ. I mean, I thought Boyhood was great, Moonlight's better, but Richard Linklater held on to that project for 12 years and was disciplined to do that for 12 years. And I'm not, people bitched about the gimmick and saying people only like it for the gimmick. He literally did something that most other directors would not have tried to grasp, and he should have won for that. And he's probably never going to get nominated again.
Best director. I mean, it's been going towards. I mean, other than Boyhood, I guess, more technical feats.
Yeah, I mean, I get the Birdman thing was more of the cinematography, which it won.
It's flashier.
And it's
flashier.
Yeah, I know.
I was kind of lukewarm on Boyhood, but I can respect the time and effort that went into it. Absolutely.
And it should have won. And screenplay, even though I didn't even like Budapest Hotel that much, that should have won screenplay. That would have been the perfect split. But then they all just said, "Oh, Birdman." I need to stop going off on tangents. I'm sorry. So back to last night.
Yeah, I was also wrong
I think it's
costumes. I was sure it was going to go to La La Land, but
costumes was fun. Because
I mean, the yellow dress is going to be iconic, but I'm happy for the Fantastic Beasts, I guess.
Well, you know what? All 8 of the Harry Potter movies never won an Oscar. They were nominated, but they never won. And then the spin-off movie.
Yeah, that's the spin-off movie.
The spin-off movie wins.
I liked the costumes, but I didn't really like the movie. And I mean, I was a hardcore Harry Potter fan back in the day, like MuggleNut, fan fiction, shipping wars, all that. I wasn't. I'm not about the Fantastic Beasts. I'll probably continue to watch them and be mad that they're like playing with the backstory in unnecessary ways.
Yeah, but But it's only the screenwriter who's playing with the backstory.
Screenwriter
and the screenwriter
J.K. Rowling, who doesn't just know.
Yeah, exactly.
Let it alone.
She didn't write the Cursed Child, so there's that. That wasn't her.
But Pottermore and the American expansion and constantly like tweeting new canon, it's exhausting.
Yeah, I think
like she needs to let go. People that I feel bad saying that because she shaped so much of my childhood and like sparked my interest in analyzing text and art and looking for something in there beyond what's obvious, but she just needs to stop.
There's a lot of people I know that Harry Potter ended when Deathly Hallows, when the book came out, and everyone went somewhere at midnight to pick it up and went home and read it that night, and then Harry Potter was done.
That was me.
And they didn't bother to go see the rest of the movies in theaters because I think
I saw the rest of them. I didn't like the David Yates ones. It ended strong, but I think Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince were pretty weak.
Order of the Phoenix left out Neville's parents, which made me upset. And then Half-Blood Prince was Harry Potter Degrassi for 3 hours, and then Snape's like, "Oh, I'm the Half-Blood Prince," and Harry Potter's like, "Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I was snogging Cho under the clock tower. What, did you say something? Oops. Oh, what happened to Dumbledore? That's weird. Alright,
And the book just wasn't like that. I mean, there was like the teen romance, like hormones kick it in type of stuff, but it didn't seem as melodramatic like the movie did.
So costume design surprised me, but I was happy.
Yeah, it's not like a surprise that I was upset about. Like, that's nice. Like, spurred the love a little bit.
Oh, there was definitely a lot of that going on all night, except for Hell or High Water.
I didn't have
and Lion.
I didn't have anything for Hell or High Water on my predictions, or even my, like, should win in a perfect world. Like I said, I was lukewarm on Hell or High Water, so it didn't get any love. And I didn't like Lion at all, so bye.
Hell or High Water was kind of my dark horse for screenplay. That was about it. And I didn't care about Jeff Bridges' nomination because that should have been Ben Foster.
Right. I'm glad that
the one category
deserved to win for screenplay. And I knew it probably wasn't going to win anything else except for Casey Affleck, but...
Yeah. The DC Comics universe has more Oscars now than the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, jeez.
Uh-huh. It has more Oscars now than Hell or High Water and Lion and Hidden Figures combined. And I'm pretty sure that, or at least I don't know why Suicide Squad is an Oscar winner.
I thought Killer Croc
makeup's always that
bad. Like, I didn't even know I was nominated.
Star
Trek should have won that.
Star Trek should have won, but even Star Trek, I was like, like, okay, sure. And
I'm surprised Jackie wasn't even, like, in the ring for it. I mean, it's not as, like, flashy and sci-fi, but hair and makeup goes to, like, historical dramas pretty often.
Right. I would have been okay with something like Jackie winning. I mean, I wasn't huge on that movie, but I would have been okay with that,
really
even,
but...
freaking Suicide. That's the one... Makeup always seems to go to, like, a bad movie. Like, when they do... Because there's years, I guess, where makeup just didn't come up.
I mean, even this year, we only got 3 out of 5, like, spots filled.
Well, I guess how it works is enough films have to put themselves in for makeup, and if those films aren't above, like, 20 or something, then we only get 3 nominations. There was a time, at least, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, where they were about to get rid of that category. Because there's like, it's only 3 nominees, there's not a lot of movies worthy.
I mean, every movie can put themselves in the ring for
instead
it.
They opted for hairstyling. Let's add hairstyling. And then the category, like, stayed around instead.
I mean, that's a good one for sci-fi to get represented, where, like, it'll rarely win anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, Arrival got a lot of nominations, but it only won 1.
Yeah, which...
And Mad Max swept the technical categories last year, so that was nice.
Almost entirely swept it. Except for visual effects, which was amazing.
That's great. What else was I wrong about?
But yeah,
I mean, I was wrong about Best Actress, but, like, not that surprised. I was just pulling for Natalie Portman. But...
I think that there's some years she could have won for that, but the Emma Stone La La Land train was pretty unstoppable. She was the closest they had to. Well, actually, what honestly it was is as soon as they've said Viola Davis is supporting, Emma Stone was like, okay, I'll get my speech ready. And I liked Emma Stone's speech because she wasn't just saying thank you and crying. She was saying, this is a great stepping stone to getting better, meaning, I know I'm really young. Like, I know that she's not even like 28 yet, right? Like, she's still relatively...
No.
She's not that old, is she? Does she already hit...
She's 28, exactly.
She is 28? Okay, yeah. So she's saying, like, I still have room to grow. It isn't like I've had this long, fruitful career and this is the topping of it. It's kind of happening in the middle. And she knows that. She's like, I can only get better from here. This is great. And I like that about that speech. That she's not like, okay, I have my Oscar. I'm gonna go have some kids now and come back in 5 years. It's like, I'm still here.
Yeah, I've always liked her a lot, so I'm glad to see her doing well, and excited to see what's coming up next. She has, like, that Battle of the Sexes movie about that tennis match.
Yes, which is directed by the 2 who did Little Miss Sunshine, so I'm there.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, I was going to see it. I was thinking of it before that, then I saw they're directing it, like, okay, I'll see anything you guys do, even though Ruby Sparks still looks really uninteresting.
Sure. Whereas, like, I like Natalie Portman in certain roles. I'm not going to, like, follow her wherever she goes, like I will with
Emma Stone.
Like Emma Stone.
Think of any actor where I'm like, I will see anything you're in. Any actor or actress.
Amy Adams.
All the acting categories, Amy Adams, she's adorable.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
So you can only imagine my betrayal.
But anyway, yeah, like I said, all the acting nominees were pretty much spot on. There was really no surprises there.
As expected.
Mahershala Ali won, honestly, for a performance that doesn't usually win because he's not in the movie.
He's only in the first third.
Yeah, he's only in the first third. His influence is throughout the whole film. Yeah,
but he has profound impact on the rest of it. And he's only, mentioned in passing.
And he's really good for what he does. Like, the last time you see his character, it's like heartbreaking. And it's good, but at the same time, it's one of those wins where it's like, man, all this took was one other movie coming up with a supporting actor that was in the whole movie, and he wouldn't have won. Like, this was a year that he could have won. He wouldn't have won every year for that movie.
I mean, Jeff Bridges was in basically the whole movie.
Yeah, but I think if Jeff Bridges had never won before, he'd have a better chance.
Possibly.
His was just like, hey, you're here, and we like the movie. And who's Ben Foster? I never heard of him.
Lucas Hedges was in basically the whole movie, but he's pretty much new on the scene, so he'll have his chance.
Yeah, he wasn't my favorite part of Manchester anyway.
Yeah, I was glad to see him there, but it wasn't like award winning.
I did like that one of his girlfriends in that movie was the main girl from Moonrise Kingdom, and Lucas Hedges was one of the Boy Scouts in Moonrise Kingdom. That made me happy. When I saw her show up, I'm like, hey, you did that on purpose. Thanks, Matt Damon. You did that on purpose to make me happy. The show itself, I thought Jimmy Kimmel was okay. I don't think he'll ever come back.
What was with his weird feud with Matt Damon? Like, was that a joke? Was it real?
Oh,
what was I looking at?
That's from the show.
From what show?
From his talk show.
He assumes everyone's watched his talk show.
Yeah, a lot of his bits were bits from his show.
I mean, everyone's seen the mean tweets on YouTube, but no one's actually seen it on his show. Like, I don't watch his show.
I don't, because I don't watch a lot of late night TV at all. But other than, like, I'll watch Conan clips, but like, the mean tweets were funny, but there was, like, nothing special about them. Like, all of them were just...
It seemed like it was just padding time. Like, in that bus thing?
Oh, the bus thing was so...
That was so awkward.
I'm the only one that apparently hates it, because everything I've seen on Facebook is like, Jimmy Kimmel was fine. And that thing with the tourist showing up was funny. And I'm like, one, Jimmy Kimmel was fine. His humor is really deadpan and got a little too overly political. That's going to be his criticism.
It barely even got political. Like, he took all the obvious pot shots, like, haha, Sweden. Like, nothing really, like, interesting or new or subversive in any way. It was just very obvious. Ha-ha,
that was still too
Trump
much.
tweets at people he doesn't like. Ha-ha, Sweden. Like, just the most... I mean...
Hey, Trump,
it could have been more political, just... It'd be more interesting that way. It was...
He's never coming back. The mean tweets thing, the only interesting thing that came out of that was Natalie Portman didn't show up at the Oscars because she's like, I'm like way too far along and I may have this kid any second, so I'm not going. But she did do the mean tweets thing, and they're like, her whole tweet was, I bet Natalie Portman orders hot tea with lemon and toast and doesn't even eat the toast. And then
it's like, nah, I'm 9 months
stands up
pregnant,
like,
bitch.
Nope. But that was the only funny part. Like, everything else was just, oh.
I liked the...
Robert De Niro looks like should be playing grandfathers. He's like, yeah, I'm about to be a great grandfather, motherfucker. And I'm like, he didn't know what to say to that. Okay.
Awkward. I liked the, like, inspiration segment, though. Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen did, like, a bit, and then, like, Jimmy Kimmel decided to turn it into some Matt Damon feud no one cared about. But...
That was... No, the thing is, I've seen the Matt Damon stuff started from the show with, I guess there was some bit where his show ran long, and they had to cut off Matt Damon, and that became this running joke that they kept cutting him off. So
I don't like Matt Damon either, but we don't have to keep harping on about it. Like, it's not a Comedy Central roast.
No, but I did like that he was getting played off while he's trying to present. He's like, "You can't. I'm presenting the award. You don't play me off. This doesn't make any sense." It was actually like they could have done like one less bit with it, but I mean I was okay with that. The only thing that honestly bothered me that just took too long was the tourist thing.
That was
because I'm thinking all these people came to L.A. to sit on a tour bus during the Oscars, like. You would think if they were here because they love Hollywood enough to spend the money to get here, they'd be watching the Oscars somewhere, not on a bus. And then they're like, oh, they think they're going to go to an exhibit on Oscar dresses. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do during the Oscars is not watch the Oscars. And as soon as the door opens, they're all there with their camera phones and they're just recording everyone. I'm like, okay, I don't think they totally didn't know what they were doing. And I'm just like that's what I was texting you a lot. Like, this is still a thing. This has been 5 minutes.
It went on so long, and it probably did not at all turn out the way it was supposed to. It was just so
I wonder if there is going to be like an explanation later where he's like, that was supposed to go somewhere else, and they were supposed to do this, and someone told them, or they figured it out, and it's...
No, the best thing for Kimmel to do is to just not address it, because all anyone is talking about is the major flub at the end.
The finale. Which, I was going to say real quick, I did like the part where he went up to the kid from Lion. It's like, hey, can I pick you up like the Lion King? Yeah, okay.
That kid is so cute. That was the best part of Lion, was that kid being so cute.
Yeah, it was... That was adorable. And they just wanted to show, like, hey, the kid's here. They let him stay in America for a minute.
That's nice.
Damien Chazelle winning was pretty obvious. I couldn't think of anyone else that would win. And he's the youngest winner ever. And he's made 2 movies, and they've both been pretty amazing.
True.
And his next movie already he actually just started work on it.
Well, it'll be interesting
like 2 days before the Oscars.
His first 2 movies he also wrote, and this isn't his screenplay. He's doing the Neil Armstrong biopic with Ryan Gosling. Again, which is a cool team up again. It'll be interesting to see how he deals with adapting what someone else wrote.
Adapting a non-musical movie. It's going to be a non-music movie. He's going to be like, I don't know what to do with my hands, guys. What do I do? We're like, can we put a song here? It's like, Neil Armstrong actually hated music and he was deaf. What? That doesn't make any sense. Like, there's going to be he's going to cheat and give Ryan Gosling a dream sequence on the
dancing on the moon.
No, he's going to pull out a trumpet, become Louis Armstrong, and be like, wait a minute, no, I'm on the moon. And it's like, Damien Chazelle, damn you.
No, it's good to see him stepping outside of... I mean, I don't know that after 2 movies you can say a comfort zone, I guess, but that he has more tricks to pull.
Oh, I'd call it a comfort zone if your combined effort on your first 2 movies is 8 Oscars.
Sure.
And one of them was a directing Oscar. And one of them, I mean, really, he has 2 movies under his filmography that aren't shorts that have 8 Oscars. And both are Best Picture nominees. He has an acting win under his belt, which that's a thing for directors that have like their acting wins.
Because J.K. Simmons
yeah, now
won,
2, right?
So Emma.
Yeah, and then a 3rd nomination, the editing win, and everything that happened with La La Land. So it's he could do anything he wants right now, and he wants to make a NASA movie.
Like, I'll be there to see it.
Or he's going to drop out halfway through and let someone else take over, and he goes and does what he wants. Or he'll finally go back to Emma Watson and go, okay, do you want to be in a musical now? And she'll go, okay. God, I don't know how La La Land would have won if it was Miles Teller and Emma Watson. I can't.
I think you would have to interpret it differently because Miles Teller is not charming. I think that complaint that a lot of people have of the white man saves jazz thing wouldn't be as much of an issue under Miles Teller because it would be a little more obvious that this Sebastian character is a little up his own ass because of Miles Teller's just got that kind of face.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of how his character was in Whiplash, where he's got the passion, but he's also really stuck on himself. It's almost like not human sometimes, but that's because he's slowly descending into... Because Whiplash is really Black Swan and they're the same movie. So he's slowly descending into madness. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, yeah,
I've seen evidence of that. I'm like, yeah. His character was kind of losing its humanity, and obviously La La Land, that's not what it's about at all. But I
don't think that I
wouldn't have minded
trade the version we got for what could have been, but
No.
it'd be interesting to see how that would have worked out. I don't know that. I mean, I'd give Emma Watson a chance. She hasn't really had the opportunity to show the same kind of acting chops that Emma Stone did, but I mean, she isn't bad. She wasn't that great when she was 12, but she got better over the course of those movies.
Okay, so that's essentially everything else. Okay, so I thought this was the only time this has ever happened, but I think Hollywood Reporter dug out a video going, no, this happened before. And there's a video from the early 60s of some Oscars where Sammy Davis Jr. was given the wrong envelope and said a name, and everyone in the audience is like, what? He's like, oh, excuse me, you gave me the wrong envelope.
It wasn't for Best Picture, though. It was for...
No, it was... I forgot what the category was, but he handed a wrong envelope, and he's like, is it because I'm black? And I got a huge laugh. So I saw Faye Dunaway a month ago because she apparently lives in a house 20 minutes from my house in Bye Bye Man. And I thought, okay, this is what she's doing, is low-budget horror movies for the rest of her life. And then out of nowhere, right before the last commercial break, they're like, Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway. And I'm like, oh, they have to be doing Best Picture. That's the only thing that makes sense. So they walk out. They're like, it's the 50th anniversary of Bonnie and Clyde. And I'm like, it's also the 50th anniversary of In the Heat of the Night and a bunch of other awesome movies that come out that year. But okay, that's the one you picked. That's cool. And Warren Beatty had a movie last year, so I guess that's it too. And you and me, at the end of our episode last week, we both said it feels like Moonlight. Just something about it feels like Moonlight's going to get it. Like, we're probably wrong, but something feels right about Moonlight.
I don't know if it was just the reality of the political now, or La La Land has been too popular for too long and the backlash is setting in, but yeah. I wouldn't have been surprised if... I mean, they could have not said anything and just let it be La La Land and nobody would have really batted an eye at it. There would have been the disappointed Moonlight people, but we would have believed it. It wasn't like, oh, Lion.
Warren Beatty. Yeah. Hell or High Water. No, hold on. Let's do a recount. Hidden Figures. No, that did not happen.
But somewhere in my heart, I knew it was Moonlight,
has the wrong
so I'm happy about it.
He's handed the wrong envelope, and he doesn't say, and he's afraid to say. He doesn't know what to do.
So
he's afraid to say
instead of says something.
Yeah, it's part of it. He should have said, "Guys, you handed me the wrong envelope." And that apparently you can. I listened. I could barely hear it. You could hear her say what, but apparently right after she says it and everyone's cheering, you kind of hear him say, "No, it says Emma Stone." What? And then before they could fix it, they're rushing the stage.
People are up. They're giving their acceptance speeches. They're 3 speeches deep before anybody figures it out.
Yeah. I'm already getting ready to go because I went over to my mom's house to watch it. She's already gotten up and she's putting stuff away, and I'm hearing the third guy. Apparently he's off in the back and he's hearing what's going on. He's hearing the stagehands and the accountants, whatever, going, no, that's not the right one. What the hell? So he comes out and he gives his whole speech, and then he goes, "We didn't win, by the way."
No, it was.
And I was like, "Did you win? Were you nominated earlier?"
That's how he.
Yeah, we lost.
Speech. I just rewatched it again this morning, but
we lost. By the way, I'm like,
speech. Wait, what?
Were you nominated for something else tonight? What happened? And then the bald guy comes out no, guys, we're not kidding. Moonlight, you won. And I'm like, oh, what? And I froze. I froze up. I had nothing to say for a minute. I was amazed that I got to sit and watch this amazing moment.
Blunder. but so pleased
it's
for
not
Moonlight.
even that. Yeah, because it wanted. It felt. It was surreal. I mean, it was obviously more surreal for them in the theater, but I'm like, I lost it. And it would have been nice if they had said Moonlight right away.
Yeah, that would have been ideal.
And then
but
they could have gave their full speech.
Of the Best Picture nominees, I mean, it's probably the one that the least people saw. It's brought in the least money out of the 9 movies. And it was a second place throughout the campaign. But La La Land was a very clear frontrunner. Like, it was a far second place in most, like, people's minds. Like, it would be great if it happened, but it's probably La La Land, was most people's thoughts.
Yeah.
Until at least a few weeks ago, when more people were starting to jump on the Moonlight train.
Because when she says La La Land, I was like, that makes sense. All right, have a good night. It was nice to see you. Da 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 da. It was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, pack it up.
I was messaging my dad a little bit, and this one coworker of mine, I think she was watching it like on a stream that was 10 minutes behind, and then her internet went out, and I didn't know, because then she messaged me, and she's like, I really hate my house. I'm like, what? She's like, my internet died right after Casey Affleck won, and I'm like, oh no. This was like a half hour later. I'm like, wait, so you don't know? She's like, what? I'm like, I ain't saying shit. Does your internet work now? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, get on YouTube right now. And 30 seconds later, I get another message like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I missed that. The greatest thing to ever happen, ever. Warren Beatty's senile ass. What? Faye Dunaway's plastic surgery. What? No. What? And she was mad. And I'm like, I got to see it live. It felt amazing. And then Jimmy Kimmel walks out and says Steve Harvey. And then people are like, oh, they faked this for attention. Like, no. That was a mistake.
I don't think they faked it for attention.
And there's people really trying to hammer down that they faked it for
there's a strong case for it. I mean, they've been lower in the ratings every year for a while now, but I just really don't think it was any kind of malicious screw up. I mean, if anything, I think they probably would have wanted to give the Moonlight people a longer platform.
Time to talk.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to work something out. Like, honestly, a thing I could see Jimmy Kimmel doing is because usually after the Oscars, because it's also on ABC, he'll have like a special Oscar show where he'll get some people on there, he'll have skits and whatever. I mean, it'd be on right now, I don't know, but I wonder if he would like take the Moonlight producers, put them on his show and go, I'm taking full blame for this mistake, that wasn't my fault. Here's the guys from Moonlight, go ahead and give your full speech, please. And he would get a standing ovation, they give their speech. I can see him doing that. Like, out of respect.
Whoever's handing out envelopes, I don't know who that is. Probably not Kimmel himself. They probably got some intern doing that.
Well, yeah, that, the accountants that tally up the votes essentially are standing there off stage, handing out envelopes and going, here's this, don't touch anything else. And then they wire over to like, okay, 3 people, one that grab 3 statues off that table, bring them over. God, the thing is, it would have been funnier if I hated La La Land, and it was like, yeah, F you.
Really
it would have been funnier. Oh no, I did too.
Which is why it's just
I just kind of wish
this.
I wish this had happened in 2010, where it's like, oh, the King's Speech. Oh wait, I read it wrong. It's actually the Social Network. Give me that, you. Here, Social Network. You're literally the best movie of this entire decade. Here.
I can't with the King's Speech either. I don't want to. Let's not go there.
Whatever. Social Network's the best movie of 2010 and possibly the decade. So, whatever. But anyway, I all day Reddit and Facebook is all. Did you see this horrible thing that happened? I'm like, what horrible thing? That was it. From my perspective of following the Oscars as long as I have. It was amazing. It was unprecedented, especially on a night where everything else was kind of just there. It was just kind of boring.
Yeah.
But fun. Like, I like that screenplay went to Moonlight and Manchester.
I think most of the people
it didn't go to La La Land
to win, and so it wasn't. exciting exactly. Like, exciting would be something unexpected happening, but still great.
Exciting would have been Kubo winning.
Yeah, like Kubo winning.
Exciting. Kubo winning, even if Kubo had won special effects, but I thought it was a decent year. 2016 in general for
Good
movies.
Oscar season. Bad blockbusters though.
That's okay. I can live with that. I definitely had.
I can live with that, but like I gotta get like my action and mayhem itch on sometimes. It was a good year for horror movies and like dramas, award season type of stuff. I don't even know that I saw any comedies. The Nice Guys was good.
Nice Guys.
I think that's probably my most rewatched movie of 2016.
Yeah.
So it's strange that I don't rate it higher.
It was in my top 10. I forgot if it was in yours.
I have like a top 16, but Nice Guys.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah. No, 2016. I love that the Oscars. Now that's like 2016 is kind of officially over. There's a few things I need to see. I didn't see Live by Night.
Handmaiden, and I still haven't. Hopefully by mid-March I'll have like my backlog out of the way. There's only a few more movies on it. I'm kind of waiting on Amazon Prime to put some things that I know they're going to, because they're an A24 releases or something on there.
But no, I was going to say for 2016, even though 2 movies came out that year that I gave 5 out of 5 to, it still feels like it was a lower year.
I think I gave 3 5s, maybe 4.
Yeah.
The Witch, Moonlight, Manchester by the Sea, and I feel like there was another, but that I should remember. No, it was just those 3. The next one on my list is La La Land, which I gave 4.5.
Yeah, I did too. I think when it came to this year, I mean, the fact that my favorite film of the year was obviously a horror movie, and so was yours, but I also had Green Room in my top 10. Because Green Room was extremely well made.
Yeah,
and
I did a 16 for 2016, but I have Train to Busan at 15, Green Room at 14.
Yeah.
Elle kind of counts as a horror movie? I don't know, not really. That's not going to count. 10 Cloverfield Lane at 5, and The Witch at 1.
I think Cloverfield Lane was in my honorable mentions along with Don't Breathe.
It was my number 1 for a long time until I rewatched The Witch with the subtitles on.
Oh.
And I mean, it was in my like top before that, but
yeah,
I feel like I missed some things in the theater for sure. Just like nuance in the dialogue.
Sure. The movie made me numb for weeks. I actually, if you look at my history on Letterboxd, I didn't log another movie for 3 weeks after I saw The Witch. That movie made me numb for like the rest of the day. Like, why am I getting like so freaked out over this? And it's I thought La La Land might do the same thing, but it ended up not.
I feel like I got overhyped for La La Land because I did too. I loved Whiplash so much, and the poster was so beautiful that I had it as my phone background. I usually have my phone background as like a movie poster I'm excited for. Right now it's Guardians 2, but it was La La Land basically all last year.
I've done that.
So I was just reminded how excited I was about it like 200 times a day.
So,
and as for other things coming out,
Logan. Oh, I was going to say Logan definitely is happening.
Logan definitely.
I know I'm going. Logan's going to happen. We have 2 other movies.
I'll probably see Before I Fall at some point during the week. I make it a point to watch when a female director gets a wide release, but I'll definitely be skipping The Shack.
But why?
I don't feel like I need to explain why.
No, I want to hear why. What's wrong with The Shack? It's about Sam Worthington who loses his child, and then Octavia Spencer says, "Get over it."
I'm just not interested in whatever Sam Worthington has to offer.
Well,
I'm not a religious person, So I'll watch really bad religious movies like God's Not Dead or something for the cringe factor.
Yeah.
But not, I mean...
What do you get out of the trailer for The Shack? I want you to tell me.
What I get out of the trailer for The Shack is white guy played by the blandest white guy meets 3 mystical brown people and they show him how to love life. And it seems really racist and really religious, and I'm just really not interested.
I still might go. Okay.
I mean, there were movies that came out last year that proved that films with a religious angle don't have to be cringeworthy.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I didn't love Hacksaw Ridge or Silence, but they were like watchable, decently made movies that aren't obviously trying to make a quick buck pandering to their target audience.
No, they were definitely more, here's a general film that happens to be about this, and weren't trying to preach to the choir or anything.
It's not like a God's Not Dead type of...
No, it doesn't look that extreme. Like, even The Shack doesn't look that extreme. It definitely looks like it wants to be inspiring. It wants to be like, look, even if you don't believe everything in this book, and it's like, take the message out of it that be decent to people and love yourself. Like, okay, if that's the message you want to put out in this movie, okay, just if you get extreme with it, no one's going to pay attention to that message. And
There's
The Shack seems like
messages to have, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now, Before I Fall, which I actually hadn't heard of until I got the trailer in front of Collide, and I'm like, why are we getting a young adult novel Groundhog's Day? And I didn't realize it was I
mean, we got the action version of Groundhog's Day a few years ago, and it was great.
Edge Tomorrow, hell yeah.
Yeah, Before I Fall's getting middle-of-the-road reviews, so, I mean, I'll probably give it a shot on a weekday. Probably not in time to talk about it next Monday. That's like a weekday after-work matinee kind of thing for me.
A cheap day? Like a half-price day?
Like a half-priced Tuesday, perhaps.
Oh, I see. Well, that almost sounds perfect for...
But realistically, like, whatever day I have off, which, who can remember?
I might go see it anyway.
I've heard it described as, like, Mean Girls meets Groundhog Day, which I could get into.
Uh-huh.
Sure, why not?
Oh, yeah, I can live with that, because... All right, well, let's see. Where are we at? We are at... So I think we're established that we're probably both going to see Logan. Are you probably going to go at midnight or like on Thursday for Logan?
Possibly.
Okay.
It'll be either Thursday or Friday.
Okay. I know I'm going Thursday because that's just my night. I put in vacation time to go see Logan and get my Switch because I'm about to get more and I got to use it. So The Shack I'm probably going to try to go see, so I go see it ironically. And then you can go see Mean Girls Groundhog's Day. And if I get any kind of text from you that says, dude, it's fine, go see it, I'll probably go see it, like, early on. I
recommend things to people if they're good, not if they're fine.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, here, you should just go see us so we can talk about it. Like, okay. So, yeah.
I mean, if there's something worth discussing in it, I will let you know. I mean, a lot of the times these middle-of-the-road type of movies are just... Well, yeah, okay, I saw it, and it happened, and that's it.
Okay, well, I think that about wraps us up. Everybody listening in, this is Vinny, thanks for listening.
And this is Dorsey. Have a fabulous time.
Have a fabulous time. Have a good night.